Breaking news, or should I say breaking loyalty? Because what if I told you the so-called ride or die brotherhood inside YNW just got flipped on its head like a Netflix plot twist nobody saw coming? What if I told you brand new murder footage has surfaced? And it doesn't just raise questions, it rips the whole YNW Melly case wide open like a cheap Walmart hoodie. Think about it. For years, Melly swore up and down that he was the victim of some random drive-by. His homie Bortlen played it cool, sticking to the script like a Hollywood extra praying for screen time. But now? Now it looks like somebody's been caught in 4K doing the exact opposite of loyalty. So let me ask you this. When your own, day one, decides to trade street code for a courtroom microphone, is it still brotherhood, or is it just survival of the fakest? Because apparently new footage, hidden testimonies, and one very nervous courtroom later, we might finally know who pulled the trigger, who staged the scene, and who's about to spend the rest of their life in a prison jumpsuit that doesn't even match their designer drip. Let's set the stage. Because if you thought this case was just another rapper caught up in the system story, you've been living under a rock. This isn't some ordinary rap beef. This is betrayal, money, fame, and murder all tangled into one messy saga that looks less like real life and more like a rejected script from Power or Snowfall. At the center, we've got Young Old Demons, better known as YN Melly, the man behind Murder on My Mind, the song that aged about as well as Spoiled Milk. And next to him, the so-called right-hand man, Cortland Henry, better known as YNW Bortlen. Together, they were supposed to be brothers in arms, blood thicker than water, ride or die until the wheels fall off. Instead, what we've got is the ultimate backseat betrayal, and guess what? New footage has just turned the entire story inside out. Let's rewind. October 2018, 4 friends in a Jeep, Melly, Bortlen, Anthony YNW Sackasser Williams, and Christopher YNW Juvie Thomas Jr. By sunrise, only 2 of them were still alive. And the official story? A drive-by shooting? Case closed, right? Wrong, because investigators quickly realized this wasn't some random street ambush. The bullet patterns didn't match, the wounds didn't add up, and suddenly the finger started pointing inward. But here's where things get really messy. For years, the YNW circle stuck to their narrative. Loyalty above all. No matter what the cops said, no matter how many holes the evidence poked in their story, they played it cool. They posted on social media. They mourned their fallen brothers. They smiled in interviews. They acted like nothing was wrong. It was all this video of the act. Then came the leaks. Forensic reports saying the bullets came from inside the car. Surveillance footage showing Melly in the Jeep minutes before the murders. Cell phone pings placing him at the scene, step counters showing him moving around during the so-called staged drive-by. Piece by piece, the story unraveled like a cheap sweater. And through it all, Bortlen stood by Melly's side, silent, loyal, or so we thought. Fast forward to now. After years of delays, mistrials, and courtroom theatrics that felt like a soap opera, something new has entered the chat: murder footage. Actual video evidence that prosecutors claim shows the truth about what went down that night. And here's the kicker, it doesn't just incriminate Melly, it puts Bortlen right in the middle of it all. But here's the twist that nobody saw coming. Instead of writing it out, instead of sticking to the script, Bortlen is reportedly ready to flip. Suddenly, the man who once drove Melly to the hospital with 2 dead bodies in the back seat is now driving his way straight into a plea deal. And the footage? It's about to expose just how deep this betrayal goes. Because when the tape rolls, it's no longer about rumors or theories. It's about cold, hard evidence. And the question is, what exactly does that footage show? And why is everyone suddenly scrambling to get ahead of it? So what exactly does the footage show? That's the million-dollar question, and according to the so-called anonymous insiders and the exclusive leaks making rounds online, the video is nothing short of explosive. Prosecutors claim it's the missing puzzle piece. Grainy but undeniable visuals that prove the drive-by story was nothing more than a staged cover dash-up. Picture this. Inside that Jeep, you've got 4 young men, laughing, talking, living like the world is theirs. Seconds later, chaos. Gunshots close range. No cars speeding by, no shadowy figure lurking in the night. Just bullets fired from inside. And then, silence. Two lifeless bodies. Two survivors with a plan. The footage reportedly shows Melly shifting in his seat, reaching for something, followed by the sudden eruption of gunfire. Then Bortlen's frantic movement, scrambling, checking, panicking. Instead of calling 911, instead of rushing to save his so-called brothers, the two survivors allegedly start mapping out a story. The cover-up begins before the blood even dries. And if that wasn't enough to make your jaw drop, reports claim there's more. A second clip, believed to be from a nearby surveillance camera, capturing the Jeep later that night. Bortlen stepping out, firing shots into the vehicle's exterior, trying to make it look like a classic drive-by. That's not loyalty. That's not brotherhood. That's pure desperation dressed up as street code. Now, here's where things take an even darker turn. For years, fans, bloggers, and social media detectives argued over whether Melly was guilty. Half the internet defended him as a misunderstood artist, while the other half called him a cold-blooded killer. But after this footage, the tide is shifting. Public opinion isn't just turning, it's collapsing. Twitter threads are blowing up with hashtags like hashtag Melly exposed and hashtag Bortlen flip. Instagram comment sections are flooded with memes of loyalty till the plea deal. TikTok? Forget about it. Every wannabe true crime influencer is breaking down grainy screenshots like it's the Zapruder film. And in the court of public opinion, the verdict is clear. Melly and Bortlen aren't victims, they're villains. And then there are the so-called insiders, anonymous sources whispering to blogs about money disputes in the crew, about jealousy bubbling under the surface. One alleged leak claims that the whole fight started because Melly felt his homies were eating off his plate without putting in the work. Another source says the victims planned to confront him about money, and that confrontation turned deadly. Real or fake, it doesn't matter. The internet is eating it up like it's gospel. Meanwhile, the reaction from the industry is just as messy. Rappers who once shouted "Free Melly" are suddenly silent. Collaborators are deleting old posts, distancing themselves faster than a politician caught in a scandal. Even DJs who spun "Murder on My Mind" every weekend are quietly retiring the track, afraid of the backlash. The loyalty that once defined YN? It's crumbling in real time. And through all of this, the biggest shock isn't just the footage, it's Bortlen himself. Because while the internet debates, while the fans rage, he's reportedly cutting deals behind closed doors. The same man who once played the role of silent soldier is now preparing to speak. And when he does, it's not just Melly's freedom on the line, it's the entire legacy of YNW. So, where does that leave us? If the footage is real, if the plea deals are signed, then we're about to witness one of the biggest betrayals in hip-hop history. And the fallout? Oh, it's only just beginning. And here's where the story goes from shocking to downright catastrophic. Because once the footage started making waves and whispers of Bortlen's deal leaked out, the entire case shifted gears. This is no longer just a murder trial, it's become a spectacle, the kind of legal circus that eats careers, reputations, and bank accounts alive. Think about it. Prosecutors now have more than circumstantial evidence. They've got footage, forensic reports, cell phone data, and soon Bortlen's own words. That's not a case, that's a demolition job. And the courtroom isn't just a place for justice anymore, it's a stage, and the audience is global. Every hearing, every motion, every leaked transcript turns into content for millions of fans and haters alike. But the fallout doesn't stop in the courtroom. Behind the scenes, record labels are panicking. Nobody wants to be tied to the rapper who allegedly turned a luxury Jeep into a crime scene. There are whispers of contracts being frozen, projects shelved, and collaborations scrapped. Industry insiders are calling it career suicide on tape. Melly once had the potential to be the next big star. Now, his name is radioactive, and then there's the legal hammer. If prosecutors push for the death penalty, and let's be real, they probably will, Melly is staring down a future with two possible outcomes, life in prison or execution. There's no middle ground left. His lawyers can cry mistrial, they can scream unfair, they can try every trick in the book. But when your own co-defendant is turning state's witness, the defense starts looking like a sinking ship with no lifeboats. Meanwhile, public backlash is heating up. Parents' groups are demanding streaming services remove his music. Politicians are jumping on the case, using it as a soapbox to argue about rap culture, violence, and youth crime. Talk shows are debating whether lyrics should be used in court. The case isn't just about Melly anymore, it's become a cultural battleground. And what about Bortlen? On one hand, he's saving himself. On the other, he's officially stamped with the scarlet letter of betrayal. Street culture has one golden rule: don't snitch. And yet here he is, allegedly preparing to testify, allegedly spilling everything. If he gets leniency, he might walk out of prison sooner than anyone expected. But when he does, where does he go? Because loyalty may get you locked up, but betrayal? That gets you exiled. So what does this all mean for the YNW legacy? Simple, it's over. The brotherhood that once branded itself as family is now nothing more than a cautionary tale. The music is overshadowed by the murder. The fame is drowned out by the footage. And the fans? They're left asking whether they ever really knew these artists at all. In the end, the fallout is bigger than just one rapper or one case. It's about the illusion of loyalty, the cost of fame, and the thin line between success and self-destruction. Because once that footage plays in court, once Bortlen opens his mouth, the game is finished. And YNW Melly, he won't just be remembered for murder on my mind. He'll be remembered for the murder that destroyed everything. So here's the real question. If your so-called brother can flip on you the second the walls start closing in, was there ever any loyalty to begin with? This case isn't just about murder, it's about trust, betrayal, and the price of fame when the cameras stop rolling. But I want to hear what you think. Is Melly guilty beyond a doubt? Or is there still a chance he walks free? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this story is far from over. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe for more breaking truths the mainstream won't tell you.